And I call the member for Dunkley.
The question is to the Prime Minister. Mark from Carrum Downs is 56 years old. He recently lost his job. He says his job provided nearly half of his family's income and they have exhausted their savings. Mark is cut out of the hiring credit because of his age and he won't be eligible for mature worker subsidies until next year. Why is the Prime Minister leaving people like Mark behind?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Mr Speaker, and I'll ask the Treasurer to add to my answer. Whether it's Mark or anyone else, Mr Speaker, in this country, so many of Australians have been hit hard by the COVID-19 recession this year, and that is why this government has delivered unprecedented levels of fiscal support into the economy to ensure that the entire economy can support more jobs coming back as quickly as possible. Already we have seen almost half of the jobs lost come back into the economy, and we are going to see more, Mr Speaker, because today's confidence figures, which back up yesterday's confidence figures, Mr Speaker, and last month's, are all showing that the Australian comeback has begun. And that's good news for Mark, Mr Speaker, because as the Australian comeback continues and as businesses continue to go stronger and as businesses open again, Mr Speaker, and as employees come back into those businesses and as they come off the job seeker payment and they go into paid work, Mr Speaker, then Australians will benefit from that. Some 26% of our economy has been invested, both directly through the federal government and also through the actions of the Reserve Bank, to ensure that our economy has been supported to help people like Mark and anyone else in this country in a way that has never been done in this country before. And next year we look forward for great hope, Mr Speaker, because not only has there been this significant investment and response from an economic point of view to support our economy and see that the jobs come back, Mr Speaker, but we've invested $18.5 billion in the health response that underwrites that economy in a COVID-19 pandemic recession. And the news that we have seen on the vaccination success, Mr Speaker, in these trials is incredibly encouraging. And this Friday, the vaccination policy that has been developed by the government will also be noted by the National Cabinet and the actions that would need to be taken by states and territories to see that vaccine able to be disseminated. Australia is in the front row, Mr Speaker, when it comes for the development and delivery of vaccines. Those opposite wonder why I refer to this, because the vaccine and the health strategy, Mr Speaker, is critical to Australia's economic growth and comeback and success. We are leaving no stone unturned in ensuring the greatest Australian comeback that this country has seen since the Great Depression. This government has stood up in this time, and as we've said throughout the course of questions today, we've particularly stood up for Australians in rural and regional areas, Mr Speaker. We haven't turned our back on rural and regional Australia in the way that the Labor Party have, Mr Speaker, shunting regional members out of their shadow cabinet for simply daring to speak up for regional Australia.